Hey everyone, hope you had a good week in the market. We're going to review going forward what happened last week and just talk about what we think is going to happen this week. I'm on a different setup. I'm on the laptop, so hopefully it works great for what we need to do. So let's start by reviewing what we said last week. And on here, we were talking about how we're going to start going up to the high of the range, and we were looking to go through that 969. Okay, so if we go back and look at the market, we were in this period right here, and let me just pull up this 50% real quick. I don't have a mouse pad, so it's a little touchy. Where is it? Right there. So remember I said even if we're wrong, going through that 50% was pretty high in that, as well as the high level right above the 50% to the left. So if I drop that area right there, so you can see we went through it. We're above 50%. And for me, we're now becoming bullish because we passed through this high. We had good price run up. My initial early stages of my bias is playing out. So now I'm like, okay, we have this big leg. We're going to want to tap into it. And you can see we come back down here, fill this gap up, as well as this fair value gap as well. So all that's revisited. Come back up here, we could be wrong, but we never broke through this low, so that was still a good sign, and we keep pushing, and then once we get above, kind of accumulate this little consolidation area, and then boom, push back up through that high we were looking at, which was right here. So what do we think this week? Well, let's go out even further to the monthly. Okay, so now we're on the full contracts when they're all put together. So now we're on the monthly, and you can see we're on an uptrend. We just broke through this high, and we're continuing up. How high will we go? Well, let's say we do our last run. And if you look at the history of it, the runs get bigger, bigger, bigger. So are we going to go even bigger this time? Well, no one knows, right? So let's just copy this leg and push it up here from bottom of that body up. So we are kind of hitting the top of that previous push's leg. And well, you got to start to figure maybe we start to go into a little consolidation period and continue up, or are we going to start to pull back into this area and continue forward? So just to watch it. I don't think we're going to drop that much as what we did in 22. As you can see, a lot of the pullbacks were a lot smaller. We'll see, right? So that's just something to keep in mind when I'm looking at the monthly chart. Go down to the weekly again. So we broke this high, thought about that area, broke out, came back to kind of the top of that area right there, and then continued up higher. So I think we're still bullish for a little bit, but we need to go deeper and look at the market and compare it to the dollar and see what's all happening. So down to the daily is bullish. We had a nice pullback, and then we went up through. I believe we're going to go into this type of period, and we kind of started to feel it with this last week, and even the week before. It was no real big crazy changes, and it was just chopping out the last couple days. So something to think about. Maybe we do a little bullish run, but I think chop. Hopefully I'm wrong because I hate it, but I think it's gonna chop going into next week. I think price will expand a little bit more, but I think we're gonna be stuck in a range. So not looking forward to that. Now we are going to compare the Nasdaq and the dollar. You can see the dollar has been on a big push, and this is when I do this chart, this is making me think that we're going to get a big pullback on the Nasdaq, because if we zoom out a little bit, we came down, did some consolidation, and then the dollar popped, and then it kind of chopped around a little bit and then popped again, right? So I'm not thinking this move's over with. I think we're going to keep going up on the dollar, and maybe we go through this phase for the next day or two, since we are on the 4 hour chart, and then we get another pop up. So we may come down, and if we do come down, let's mark out 50% of that last leg, and you're looking right about where the highs were, right? The previous highs. So I think we're going to come down and test this area. And on the chart, I just added 50 EMA just to kind of just get a visualization of the trends and just see how we're flowing. So again, we popped up after a long consolidation into a range. We respected that last run. We took out liquidity, we took out this liquidity, but we still respected this low here, where the last point of taking all this liquidity, right? That level, and then popped off. So I'm thinking dollar's going to continue to go up and Q pull back. On the 1 hour chart, same thing. We're seeing the same thing, just broken down a little more, and you can see where we just consolidated, chop, 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 chop. And I think people thought we were going to continue pushing up higher, and we just went up and down, right, for the last basically the whole day, right? But if we go all the way back to the start of that, it was on Wednesday. So from Wednesday to Friday, we just back, forth, back, forth, back, forth. And I think we're going to drop down lower, and then we'll continue our push up when dollar might start coming down a little bit. So starting out bearish as my main bias for the week. Let's go on the actual chart now. Mark out the range. So we have that body, or I mean the wick, and then that last leg goes down to here. So this is our main trading range. Again, I think we're going to pull back and then push up through. In the time frame, I'm not sure. That's just what I'm going to be looking for. And you can see here, we broke through, went up, didn't really push a new high or anything. So within this range, I am looking to take out this low. I don't believe that was a real push up that I was confident in. And with how quickly it whipped right back, I still think we're going down here, and this was just a false motivation for everyone to start buying, right? So I think we're going to go through this low. So let me just put another line there for us. And let me change these colors to something a little more brighter that stands out. And really, we don't need this bottom one. I don't think we're going to go below this just yet. So I'm not too worried about that. Let's get back into this range and go down to the 30-minute. So if we do get a pullback and we're going to continue chopping for a little bit, I think that 50% lines up very well with that fair value gap. So what I'm thinking is going to happen is up into this range, maybe fake some people out thinking we're going to break above, come down, fake people out thinking we're going to go below. And with how the week's been, I think we might chop around quite a bit and then maybe end the week down below. So that's what I'm thinking is gonna happen. Again, anything can happen, so that's just one. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna draw this area right here so I can keep an eye on that, and obviously through this low, and then I'm gonna mark up this other one just in case we come here and do a pullback and then go back through. I could have that area as a partials. Once we start getting there, that be careful, we might pull back and then go back down. So this is what I'm watching next week for NQES. Is going to be pretty similar. It just didn't have as big of a push down, and again, the push up really wasn't convincing, and then it wicked above these old wicks. So I'm not really sold on this being the actual move. So we'll watch again bottom of that one and that one, as well as maybe a deeper pullback either up into this gap or into this last up candle. So hope this has helped you kind of put together your game plan for next week. Again, anything could happen. This is just what I'm looking for, and if it plays out, I'm going to be ready to react. If it doesn't play out, I'm going to relook at everything we just did today and reassess where we are. And maybe I'm wrong and we're going through the top. So, got to watch it day by day and keep reviewing and seeing if it still aligns with your original bias, or if it is invalidated and you got to readjust your plan because maybe we're wrong, and now let's get back on the right side, to the other side. So subscribe if you haven't already. Click that thumbs up. The mentorship stuff is still coming. I've just been really busy. As you see, I'm on the laptop here. I'm not even at my setup, so I couldn't skip this. This was something I was doable on my laptop, but I don't have any of the video files already filmed on my desktop, so I can't even edit those videos. So hopefully later today or within the next day, I'll have the next ones up. So have a great day. Get ready for the next trading week, and peace.